In 2009, a man made a decision. He was going to erase himself from the internet. Not hide, not limit, erase every account, every mention, every record. He wanted to become, digitally speaking, nobody. What followed was 11 years of legal battles, unanswered deletion requests, court rulings, and one humiliating discovery that even after all of it, you could still find him in under 30 seconds. To understand why this is impossible, you first have to understand what the internet actually is. We think of it as a place, a space we visit and leave, but it's not a place. It's a record. Every time you've ever signed up for anything, a form in 2004, a newspaper website, a free game, a shopping app, that data was stored, not just stored, copied, sold, aggregated, archived. There are companies whose entire business model is knowing where you live, who your relatives are, how old you are, what you've been convicted of, what you've searched for. They're called data brokers. There are over 4,000 of them in the United States alone. You've never signed a contract with any of them. You never had to. And the internet doesn't just store your present. It stores your past. The Wayback Machine, a project run by the Internet Archive, has been taking automated snapshots of the web since 1996. It has over 860 billion saved web pages, archived, permanent, accessible by anyone. So when our subject sat down in 2009 and decided he wanted to disappear, he had no idea how deep the hole actually went. He started the way most people would. He deleted his social media, deactivated his accounts, removed his photos. It took about a week. He felt good about it. Then a friend searched his name. His old Facebook profile still appeared in Google results as a cached page. The account was gone. The ghost of it wasn't. So he filed a request with Google to delist the cached result. Google's response: it wasn't their content. They were just indexing it. Facebook's response: the account had been deactivated, not deleted. There's a difference. He hadn't known that. He reopened the account just to find the permanent deletion option. It took 3 more weeks for it to fully disappear from search results. Round 1, 2 months. 1 account, 1 ghost. Round 2 was worse. He discovered that a local newspaper had written a short article about him, years earlier, something mundane. A community event. It ranked on the first page of Google when you searched his name. He emailed the paper and asked them to remove it. They declined. It was public record. It was accurate. They had no legal obligation to take it down. This is where most people stop. He didn't. In Europe, something called the right to be forgotten was slowly being written into law. The concept is exactly what it sounds like. The legal right to request that search. Engines delist results about you, not delete the content. Just remove it from the index so it exists. You just can't find it. In 2014, the European Court of Justice ruled that this right was enforceable. Google had to comply for European searches. Since then, Google has received over 1 million delisting requests. It approves roughly half of them. Our subject was in Europe. So he filed. He spent 4 months documenting every URL, every result, every mention of his name. He submitted 47 individual delisting requests. Google approved 31 of them, remained, because Google determined they were in the public interest. That newspaper article? Public interest. A comment he'd left on a forum in 2007, public interest, a review he'd written for a restaurant that had since closed. Public interest. He appealed. The appeals process took 8 months. He won 3 more removals. 13 remained, and that's just Google. He still had Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, data brokers, archive sites. Each one its own separate legal battle. Each one its own timeline. Each one its own set of rules. In the United States, there is no federal right to be forgotten. There is no law that requires a data broker to remove your information because you asked nicely. You can opt out of some. You can submit requests. You can pay services to do it for you, and they will. For a while. Because data brokers regularly re-aggregate and republish data. Delete Me, one of the most reputable removal services, says you need to resubmit requests every few months, indefinitely. The internet doesn't forget. It just gets slower at remembering. 10 years after he started, He thought he was close. The Google results were mostly clean. The data broker listings had been suppressed. He hadn't posted anything new online in a decade. Then, someone showed him something. A researcher studying digital permanence had found him, not through Google, not through a data broker, through metadata. Years ago, he had uploaded a single photograph to a long-deleted photo-sharing site. The site was gone. The account was gone. The photo was gone. But the photo had been downloaded by someone before the site closed, and that person had uploaded it somewhere else. And embedded in the file's metadata was his name, his camera model, the GPS coordinates of where the photo was taken, the exact date and time. The researcher found the image in under 4 minutes using publicly available tools. He had spent 11 years and thousands of euros trying to become nobody, and a single JPEG had kept him tethered to himself the entire time. Here's what this story is actually about. It's not about one man's obsession. It's about the architecture of the internet and the fact that it was never designed with forgetting in mind. The web was built to preserve, to link, to archive every protocol, every standard, every innovation. It was all optimized for permanence, not for privacy, not for erasure, for memory. And we built our entire social lives on top of this infrastructure without really understanding what that meant. We posted because it was fun. We signed up because it was convenient. We agreed to terms we didn't read, on platforms we didn't fully trust in exchange for services we'd already forgotten about. And somewhere, right now, all of that is sitting in a database indexed, archived, backed up, waiting. The man eventually stopped trying, not because he gave up, but because he realized something. The goal was never really to be forgotten. The goal was to feel like he had some control over who he was. And the internet, by design, it doesn't offer that. It was never supposed to. If you searched your own name right now, what would you find? Old accounts you forgot about, photos from a decade ago, a comment you left on a forum at 2 a.m., maybe a news article, maybe a public record, maybe just an address. Your digital identity isn't something you created. It's something that was assembled for you, piece by piece, by systems that had no interest in accuracy or fairness, just data. And deleting it, well, you've seen how that goes. This has been Vellum and Void. If this is the kind of story you want to see more of, and the history the internet is slowly trying to bury, unsubscribe. There's a lot more where this came from.